Are super excited for this super awesome Friday morning. Thank you for tuning in to the Radio Vision Network. So I gotta just get right to it, okay? So we are so excited. We have Brandon Whiting from Speed Raceway. He is the president. Listen, if you don't know about Speed Raceway, you're missing the go-kart. I would say you're missing the boat, but that's not gonna fly with Speed Raceway.
Yeah, we don't have boats.
Brandon, welcome this morning. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. So, Speed Raceway is it's an awesome place. If you don't know about it, it's right on Route 130 in Cinnaminson. It's this huge like warehouse type place, but you guys have go-karts, you have an arcade, you've got party rooms, you've got so much going on over there. Why don't you tell everybody a little bit about it?
Sure, you hit on a lot of it. Yeah, we're right over on in Cinnaminson. We actually have another location in Horsham, PA. We're about 100,000 square feet of space. We have two indoor electric go-kart racing tracks, and we do family entertainment. For South Jersey and for PA, and we do it well. And we have arcades, and like you said, we specialize in birthday parties and corporate events. We have racing leagues, summer camps. You name it.
Yeah, you got a lot going on, and that's really cool. Is that it's not just a kind of like a standalone place where you're like, oh, okay, we'll come and ride some go-karts. They're really proactive, and they're really trying to be a part of the community and be involved in everything that's going on. And the thing that you mentioned that I think is really cool is that you guys do a lot of corporate parties.
Sure.
And like team building and like adults come in and get to act like little kids for a little while and race the carts and play the games. Talk about some of the success on how that aspect of the business has grown over the last few years.
Sure, definitely. We always say that we're fun for all ages, and you kind of hit on it. When people think go-karts, they think maybe this is something little putt-putt that you do with little kids. No,
Right.
our carts are state-of-the-art. They're made in Italy. They're electric carts. They fly. They're fast. And we have two different carts. We have a cart for our adult and teen racers, which is a larger cart, goes faster, and then we have a smaller cart for our junior racers. So we can do ages 6 and up. But the adult racing starts at kind of that 12, 13-year-old range, and most of our racers in that actually are exactly what you just said.
Right.
They're the big kids. They're guys like us that come in there with buddies, and then all of a sudden we turn into a 12-year-old.
Yeah, well, I'm going to get to that in one second. But
So when we first opened, we took this concept, which we had seen in other places, and we wanted to bring it to Philadelphia. We wanted to bring it to the East Coast, and kind of the immediate impact was just, hey, we're here, we're open, and people just came. They came to have fun. They came. They wanted to race the track. They wanted to compete with friends, and it worked well. But we always knew that to do a complete business, there were so many other pieces that would fit in. And the corporate business was something that has really taken off in the last couple of years because it does fit really well with that team building. People in the South Jersey and Philadelphia and PA suburb area that have companies of, teams of salespeople and teams of, IT companies and financing companies. They have all these big teams of people that need to get along and need to work together. And, we have this motto that, happy, healthy employees produce more. They stick around longer. They're happier. They want to be there. So people come to our facility and they work on that.
it just makes sense. I mean, think about what the normal scenario is in like a team building, a corporate event. They go to a hotel conference room, right?
Sure.
They
Right.
throw paper airplanes around and they do all sorts of
Fall
stupid
off a table
games,
into each
right?
other's
And
arms,
it's trust. Here's our trust exercise. This is so much more fun and engaging, and you're
Sure.
really going to get to know the people that you work with on a much more intimate level when you're having fun and your guard is a little bit
Sure.
more down.
You get to cheer for people, you
Yeah.
get to root for people and support each other. You get to kind of be a little nervous and overcome, obstacles for yourself. And
Yeah, that's a huge thing. So if you are looking for any sort of corporate event, I mean, think of a little bit outside the box and go to Speed Raceway. But you touched on something else that I want to talk about because a lot of parents out there, they might be thinking, okay, he just mentioned that we bring 6-year-olds to this track. Let's talk about some of the safety aspects that you guys employ to make sure
Sure.
that we can have 6-year-olds out there on
Sure,
these tracks.
absolutely. Safety is the number one thing we do at our facility, and it's something that we work on many levels every single day. And the thing that I would tell people, that hopefully will ease their minds a little bit about coming in, having fun at our facility, and not worrying about too much about the safety aspect of it. Is you go to places like, you know, Six Flags here in South Jersey, you go to places like Dorney Park in PA, and you have these huge roller coasters. Those people get inspected by state organizations that make sure that the ride is safe, make sure that we're taking every precaution necessary.
Right.
Those are the same people that inspect and hold us accountable for the safety levels. You know, here in New Jersey, it's you know, the DCA, Department of Ride Safety. We have people, inspectors coming through all the time. We have certain protocols that we do. We have full-time mechanics that are making sure the carts are running properly, they're performing, they're safe. We do safety inspections on the cart every single morning, every single cart.
See, this is such good stuff to know, right? Because you wouldn't necessarily know that just either going in or checking the place out online, but the fact to know the fact that there is kind of like this governing body or this organization that kind of looks over and makes sure that everything is safe, kind of probably gives parents and everyone else a little bit of peace of mind.
Sure, absolutely. And you know, and then the other part of it is we come in and we've been around for about 4 years now. We've done hundreds of thousands of customers and hundreds of thousands of races, and we haven't had anybody get hurt.
Yeah, that's great, and that's a great track record, and that's something that you should be proud of. I hope you have that sign that says, you know, 1,500 days without an accident, right? That's
like the old McDonald's sign, right? You know, 200,000 served.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, because you want to be proud of your success, and that's what that is a statement to your success. So, listen, I've got so much more to talk about. I don't know. Does this guy look familiar to you? You might recognize him. I'm not sure. We're going to come back and we're going to talk a little bit more about that. So stick around here on Morning Coffee. We'll be right back.
Simply Gents, located in Marlton, New Jersey, takes care of all your grooming needs, including haircuts, straight razor shaves, massages, facials, manicures, pedicures, and waxing. To find more information or book an appointment, visit us online at www.simplygents.com. The secret weapon of a well-groomed man, Simply Gents.
When it's time for Jersey Mike's to make a really great sub, this is what we do. It's what we've been doing. It's what we've always done. It's what we'll always do. So what are you doing? Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
Today's show has been sponsored by More Than Gifts. Come see our new location in Marlton, New Jersey. Not just gifts, but more.
Today's show was brought to you by Alicia Kelly of White Horse RV Center in Williamstown, New Jersey. Alicia is your RV expert. Contact Alicia at whitehorserv.com or give her a call at 856-262-1717, extension 203. When you think of RV, think Alicia Kelly.
Extra Innings is the nation's premier indoor baseball and softball training center, featuring indoor batting cages, 7 multi-use tunnels, and training rooms. Extra Innings can provide professional instruction, private and group lessons, and the best year-round clinics. Along with a nationally recognized pro shop that features the latest and widest selection of equipment and apparel, our experienced staff can provide you with the right instruction and help you find the best equipment for your ability and budget. Extra Innings, where the game never ends.
When it's time for Jersey Mike's to give a sub some sizzle, this is the way. The way it's always been. The way it always should be. The way it always will be. Because that's just the way it's supposed to be. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
Today's show has been sponsored by More Than Gifts. Come see our new location in Marlton, New Jersey. Not just gifts, but more. Today's show has been sponsored by Farmers Insurance in Voorhees, New Jersey. To protect your assets and the people you love, call Mike Skoranek, your local Farmers Insurance agent, at 856-336-2553.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Welcome back to Morning Coffee. I am Mark Cook, and I am joined by Brandon Whiting, who is the president of Speed Raceway. Speed Raceway has two locations. They've got one out in Horsham, PA, and they've got one in Cinnaminson, New Jersey. So make sure you check them out. They're like the best entertainment centers in the area of Horsham and in the area of Cinnaminson on 130. So I live in Pennsauken, Brandon, which is very close to Speed Raceway. I literally live 5 minutes away from Speed Raceway. So I'm going to a friend's house one day in Cinnaminson, and I drive by, and I hear your commercials all the time. You guys do an amazing marketing campaign. Your commercials are catchy. They're funny. They really grab you. You hear the go-karts, and they're cool. So I'm driving by. I hear the commercial. I get to a friend's house, and I know that they have like teenagers, like preteens, and I said, listen, have you guys ever been to Speed Raceway? And they're like, well, yeah, it's right across the street. We go all the time. And I'm like, well, what's it like? I'm like, is it cool? And they were like, yeah, we just said we go all the time. Obviously, it's cool. And I said, well, you know, I have a lot of time. As a full-time actor, I have time. A lot of my time is like during the day. Can I go as like an adult man by myself and race go-karts? And they were like, well, you could, but it's just like anything else. You're going to be the guy by yourself, you know, at Speed Raceway. And I thought to myself, I don't care about that, right? I want to go race go-karts. So with that being said, Speed Raceway is for everybody, right? I shouldn't think twice. If I want to go race some go-karts, go and race go-karts, right?
Absolutely. You shouldn't think twice at all. Whether it's weekend with friends and family, whether it's Friday evening on a date, whether it's, you know, during the week by yourself. It really is. And you know what's funny about the story you said is that, you know, we have a great staff. You know, it really is all about the people for us. It's our staff, which we love and does a fantastic job, and it's about the people that come in. And one of the great things and one of the reasons I wanted to get into this business was people come to our facility to have fun. It's a smile on your faces kind of business. It's not selling insurance or something like that.
Right.
It's all about the people.
It's entertainment.
So when you come in during the week, you know, in the middle of the day, in the afternoon, and maybe you're one of 4 or 5 people that are in the building, you come in by yourself, you get such one-on-one attention from our staff. You can pick up tips. They tell you, you know, hey, you want to get your time faster. You know, they become the people. So yeah, come in by yourself. Come in during the week.
And that's really cool because that's a way that you can go and get really comfortable.
Sure.
Right? So that if you are going to go on a date, which I think is a great idea.
Oh, yeah.
It's so much cooler than the traditional, you know, dinner and a movie or whatever. Hey, let's go to dinner, and then we're going to go someplace really fun, and you're going to stand out a little bit. You know, look, girls like to be treated well, of course, we understand that, but they also like to get treated like real people, too, and that's a fun thing. It's a fun environment.
It is. And laughing, you know, breaks down the walls. It gets to that level of intimacy where you can, you know, you can just talk on a real level instead of just like being stuffy. But yeah, we have people come in for all different reasons and different groups.
So you talked about that. I guess both locations have 2 tracks, right?
Yes.
2 tracks, 2 different types of cars. Can I transfer the carts between tracks? Are the tracks specific to the carts? Let's talk about, like, for the guys that really like to race go-karts, the dynamics between the courses, like, is one more of a road style course and stuff like that?
Sure. Well, they're both road style courses.
Okay.
You know, we kind of emulate and model ourselves after like a Formula One model versus like a NASCAR model, which is just a big circle.
Right.
You know, ours are road courses. These are electric karts, which are great because you get straightaways and turns and hairpin turns. And you get it's fun because the electric kart has so much you know, torque on it.
Yeah.
You know that
Goes.
you can go into a sharp turn and come out of it. You know, it's really for that racing junkie who loves it. But they're road style courses. They tend to be sometimes can be a little bit less technical than the other one, which actually works out for people who are novices or experts. Or you know, one of the great things is we have multiple race packages where people come in and buy more than one race, and they can try out each track and figure out which one they like.
That's cool.
Occasionally, we change up the track designs for special occasions.
Wow. So the infrastructure within the building is kind of amazing in itself then, because if you have a track and you're able to modify it, that means that there's certain times where there's space within that place that's not being used, which means that it is huge inside.
They're big, and you mentioned it earlier. You know, we have the 2 different carts. You know, 6 and up. We're fun for all ages. The carts aren't specific to either one track. The only thing we do just for safety, and you know, you mentioned safety earlier, is we don't put the junior carts and the adult carts on the track at the same time. So the adults
just
race.
Makes sense.
Adults race with adults. Kids race with kids. Right. You know, it depends on which track they're on that day. But you know, trust me, and we've done tons of customers. Everybody loves the speed. You know, some people have a preference on track, but you're going to have fun.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing, is that it's not like you guys just opened up shop yesterday. You know how to do it, how to make the best experience for everybody that comes through the door. And I'm sure there was a little trial and error in the beginning. And look, people have been racing go-karts for a long time. It's not like this is something that just came overnight. So being able to take all of that knowledge and really apply it to a massive mega structure like Speed Raceway is really cool. So I wanted to talk about the birthday party aspect of it, because you know, when I was a kid, it was real common to have your birthday party at the fast food joint. Mm-hmm. They treat you like royalty for a day, right? And you got your throne, and everybody has a cheeseburger, and then you go home. Why do I want to have my party at Speed Raceway instead?
Well, I think it's unique. It's unique to the area. A lot of times in this day and age, you know, birthday parties are this thing. You know, you get invited to something. You know, the parents have all this pressure to have a birthday party that's really cool, and all the kids are gonna love because your kid wants to go to school and be like, oh man, I had this birthday party. We came. It was awesome. So it's unique. It's fun. It's also something where kids and adults can do something together.
Right.
You know, a lot of times these days things get, you know, separated, where you go to a party or you go to a venue and it's just for kids.
Right.
Or you go to something and it's just for adults. We have it where you really, you know, everybody becomes a big kid, and we have the infrastructure and the carts and everything, like you said, so we can race both adults and kids.
Yeah, you know what's cool about what you said is that the really popular thing these days is to take your kids to like they're almost like bigger playhouses or like gymnasium type places, and I don't want to give any specific names, but I think you know the places that I'm talking about, where the kids go and they bounce around for a few hours, and it's fun, it's great, and the kids love it. But then the parents are kind of on the side.
Sure.
And they're it's a little awkward. It's awkward. I've been to a bunch of them, and if you don't know a lot of people, it is awkward because your kid's out there, and the Speed Raceway eliminates and bridges that gap, right? They eliminate that gap. They bridge the gap. The kids are there, but there's also the dynamic that if the kids do want to go play games, they can go do that, or they can be together doing something else. And that's what's really cool about the dynamic at Speed Raceway.
Absolutely. And we have a ton of different stuff to do. We have pool tables, we have food service, you know, we have private party rooms that are racing themed, really, really top notch, really first class. Yeah, it really is something. It bridges the gaps, and what we try to do is fill that experience where you're always doing something. Kids aren't standing around. Nobody's bored. You're going from one thing to the next. Every private party has a dedicated host that's hosting your party, and their only job is to make sure that you get that red carpet treatment. You know that you're having a great time.
Yeah, that is awesome. We're running out of time so fast. I got to take another quick break.
Sure. We're
going to come back. And we're going to talk a little bit more to Brandon Whiting from Speed Raceway. This is Morning Coffee. I'm Mark Cook. Stick around. We'll be back in a second.
Simply Gents, located in Marlton, New Jersey, takes care of all your grooming needs, including haircuts, straight razor shaves, massages, facial, manicures, pedicures, and waxing. To find more information or book an appointment, visit us online at www.simplygents.com. The secret weapon of a well-groomed man, Simply Gents.
When it's time for Jersey Mike's to make a really great sub, this is what we do. It's what we've been doing. It's what we've always done. It's what we'll always do. So what are you doing? Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
Today's show has been sponsored by More Than Gifts. Come see our new location in Marlton, New Jersey. Not just gifts, but more.
Today's show was brought to you by Alicia Kelly of White Horse RV Center in Williamstown, New Jersey. Alicia is your RV expert. Contact Alicia at alicia@whitehorserv.com or give her a call at 856-262-1717, extension 203. When you think of RV, think Alicia Kelly.
Extra Innings is the nation's premier indoor baseball and softball training center, featuring indoor batting cages, 7 multi-use tunnels, and training rooms. Extra Innings can provide professional instruction, private and group lessons, and the best year-round clinics. Along with a nationally recognized pro shop that features the latest and widest selection of equipment and apparel, our experienced staff can provide you with the right instruction and help you find the best equipment for your ability and budget. Extra Innings, where the game never ends.
When it's time for Jersey Mike's to give a sub some sizzle, this is the way. The way it's always been. The way it always should be. The way it always will be. Because that's just the way it's supposed to be. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
Today's show has been sponsored by More Than Gifts. Come see our new location in Marlton, New Jersey. Not just gifts, but more.
Today's show has been sponsored by Farmers Insurance in Voorhees, New Jersey. To protect your assets and the people you love, call Mike Skoranek, your local Farmers Insurance agent, at 856-336-2553.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Welcome back to Morning Coffee. I am Mark Cook. Thank you for tuning in to the Radio Vision Network. So, we're gonna wrap things up here with Brandon Whiting. Now, I'm not sure if you've Googled it yet, because man, that name sounds familiar, and geez, this guy looks a little bit familiar. How do I know him? Well, if you haven't Googled it, Brandon Whiting, this guy used to make his living pursuing quarterbacks in the National Football League, and he happened to play for my favorite football team, the Philadelphia Eagles. So, Brandon, I got to ask you, you were around during the time you played for Andy Reid when the Eagles were becoming one of the premier franchises in the National Football League. And, you know, short of saying that was really cool, what was that like?
It was really cool. No, it was something that was one of the greatest memories I've had in my life. It was such an accomplishment to be a part of something that really was in a transition. It was growing. It was taking something, a great city like Philadelphia with a storied football history and a storied sports history, that kind of in this losing streak.
Right.
You know, when I got here, we weren't very good, and we had a lot of losses. But then Andy came in, he turned things around, and we started winning. The city of Philadelphia has such a fantastic sports fan base that the city just became electric, and everybody became a part of it.
Yeah, and what's really cool is you talk about that you were part of the culture change. You know, culture has become such a big buzzword in the locker room, right? And Chip Kelly, they always talked about culture, culture, culture. Well, Andy established a culture in that locker room that really wasn't there under Ray Rhodes or Rich Kotite or the coaches, you know, previous to that. And you got to play with some potential Hall of Famers, some really great players, some really great people. And that's what was really nice as fans, is that we were able to grow with you as a team. And as we got to know you, we really liked you because you were really great guys. I mean, let's talk about some of those guys. I mean, we've got Brian Dawkins, I think he's a lock to be in the Hall of Fame, right?
Yeah, legend.
Greatest Eagles defender ever. You know, Reggie, I don't mean any. You know, I'm not trying to. And no disrespect, of course, but. I mean, you played with guys that are still involved in Philadelphia and Philadelphia media, so this was really great. I know that we're supposed to be talking about Speed Raceway, but I get a little overwhelmed because I am such a huge fan, and you know,
it was. I mean, more than just the winning side and the fans getting back into it. I mean, it was a transition. I mean, you're looking at a time where we blew up the vet.
Yeah.
We moved to the NovaCare and became a first-class organization
Right.
with modern amenities. We also, kind of got into this age where football players were under the helmet and then transitioned to being accessible to the fans
Right.
through the changes in media.
Right.
So, I mean, it really was a transition.
Yeah, you know what? And thinking about it now, not only was it a time where the Eagles culture changed and the Eagles really kind of blew up, but the league was blowing up at the same time. Obviously, the 90s were a great time for the league. That's when it really started to build. But the early 2000s really was when the NFL skyrocketed to become the #1 sport in the country.
Sure, and I remember when, I don't remember the exact year, but there was a year where Major League Baseball went on. They're doing a strike, they're doing their labor stuff,
Yeah.
and I think right about the same time, the NFL kind of finally took that thing where it became America's game.
Yeah.
This is the biggest sport in the country is football, and it's not Major League Baseball, and it's not NBA.
That baseball strike happened in the mid-90s, and there were so many people during that strike that said, I'm done. I'm done with these guys. They make so much money. They're striking now. And they didn't go back to baseball. And there's one guy I'm thinking of in particular. He didn't go to a Phillies game from the strike, which I think was in '94, until 2014. He literally waited 20 years. He was so mad.
That's a grudge.
Yeah, now most people, they kind of let things go a little bit easier than that. But man, I'm so sorry that I ran out of time. Really what this means is that you got to come back.
Okay.
You have to come back. I have so much more to talk to you about, but right now, let's focus on the task at hand. I want you to check out this camera right here.
Okay.
Invite everybody down to Speed Raceway and take it away.
All right. Absolutely, everybody. Speed Raceway, all the information you need, location, address, phone numbers, our hours of operations, all the different stuff we talked about with our birthday parties, corporate events, summer camps, everything can be found on our website, speedraceway.com. Some of the great things that we have coming up right now, if you're looking for something for your kid to do this summer, school's out. It's great for them to sit around and get some rest for a couple of days, but summer's long, so get them out of the house, get them active. We have some great summer camps starting up. We have racing leagues. If you're a part of a business, I'm telling you, our corporate events are second to none. So if you're part of a business, if you're the decision maker, give us a call. If you're not, put in a good word for us and get your team out here.
Awesome. This was fantastic. Go check out Speed Raceway. It's a great place. You're really going to enjoy it. This is Brandon Whiting. He is the president of Speed Raceway. Brandon, thank you so much for coming in this morning. We
Absolutely.
really appreciate it. We'll have you back. We've got so much more coming up on Morning Coffee this morning. You have to stick around on the Radio Vision Network. We'll be right back.